Okay. Oh, I forgot this moves. Today we're outside at a rose garden. We're gonna post this rose garden afterwards when we're done because this is a really, really nice rose garden in Dallas. We'll post it so you guys can see. So that's what we decided. We decided to do today's episode outside. This is the third episode. If y'all didn't see the first two episodes, go check out the first two episodes. I'm going to be talking about what I've been through this week as far as my faith has been tested a lot this week. And I feel like I'm battling demons or spirits. And when I say demons, I kind of think of the word demand, because they demand you to do something right then and there without really thinking or without really like having like the mind space to make the right decision. And this morning, before we prayed or after we prayed, one of them spoke to me and told me to pray alone. And we all know that two prayers is better than one. And praying alone will never be more sufficient than praying with another person. So I had to have faith that sometimes when you hear something or when you're told to be doing something, sometimes it's not the right thing telling you to do it. And you got to have self-discipline and self-discernment to know the difference.
Voice ain't God.
To know the difference between God's voice and the enemy's voice. It's okay. Hi. I love dogs.
Oh, y'all recording something?
It's okay. And you got to know the difference between God's voice and the enemy's voice. And a lot of times we just think we have these divine interventions, or we think, oh, because it's somebody that told me this, that it's the right thing to do. But if you look at it, for me today, after I prayed, I wrote it down, and I'm like, well, why would God be telling me to pray alone? So I know that's not the right thing to do. That's not him talking to me. That's the enemy. And when you are chosen, or when you're selected out of a certain group to be different, you will be spiritually attacked like all the time, because it wasn't a time that when Prophet Muhammad decided to be Prophet Muhammad that he wasn't under attack, like they was trying to kill him. Same with Jesus. They wanted to kill him. Like, even with all of the biblical people, Jeremiah, like, when you become chosen, it's not an easy game. It's not an easy life. Everybody think, well, in the churches they say, oh, give your life to God, and when you give your life to God, everything is going to be better. You're going to be happier. You're going to be this. You're going to be that, and that's true. But they don't prepare you for the war. When like you signing up for war, you're not just signing up for the good life. You signing up for the good, the bad, the ugly that comes with you giving your life to God. Same with being drafted. Same with the soldiers today. Like, in order for you to be determined to, like, worthy to fight on that field, you got to go through certain trials and practices before you able to go to combat. If you don't prove yourself before you go to
pressure.
Yeah, if you don't prove yourself before you go to combat, then you're not worthy to be a part of that team. And the same with God. If you're not worthy to prove yourself, if you can't go through trials and tribulations, you're not worthy enough to fight with him. You're not worthy to live with him. You're not worthy to, reap the benefits that come with you giving your life to God. So I feel like I'm under like a spiritual attack right now, like a spiritual warfare, I can say. And I'm happy to know that I got the discernment and the self-discipline and the person that I have with me to recognize when it's going on, because sometimes we don't know we under spiritual warfare, or sometimes we don't know when we're under attack, or we can be feeling sad and depressed, or we can be feeling uncomfortable and not know where it's coming from. And it can be a demonic spirit, or it can be a entity that we unintentionally invited in, and now it thinks we are the home where it can reside and the home where we can stay. So we gotta like cleanse ourselves and always protect ourselves and always pray over ourselves that we keep self-discipline and we keep discernment and we keep prayer in our life. And that's another thing today that God wanted us to talk about was self-discipline and prayer. I feel like I used to pray. People got all different types of ways of praying. And when it comes to prayer, some people relate it to manifestation. Some people relate it to meditating. Some people relate it to just a simple conversation. Some people consider it a ritual or whatever the situation might be. And I feel like as long as you pray, no matter how you pray, when you pray, where you pray, as long as you pray and you believe that your prayers are being heard and you believe that there is a person receiving your prayers, then I believe that that can help change a lot within your life, as well as your career or love life or whatever for that matter, because we all have faults and we all are not perfect. And I was baptized last year, and after I got baptized, I was like, my mother was telling me, like, you're going to be surprised the stuff that come clear to you and the stuff that, the way you're tested and everything like that. I had slips after I was baptized, and I'm not perfect. I'm here to say it. I slip and I fell back into certain situations that I wasn't supposed to fall back into. But I was always spiritually protected and highly guided to be aware before destruction really finally came into my life, or before destruction can really fully take over my life. I will always be able to catch it before it happens, or to see it before it gets to me, because it's like a hurricane. You see a hurricane before it comes to you. You're just not going to sit there and let it destroy you. You're going to get out the way in some type of way, or you're going to try to prevent destruction as best as you can. You're just not going to let it hit you. So I feel like this week I was under attack. I was fighting with some different spirits of mine, and I realized that I lack on my prayer. I do pray, but I'm supposed to be praying more, and I'm supposed to be reading more, and I'm supposed to be doing more, and giving God's message way more than what I'm supposed to.
What you've been.
Yeah, what I've been doing, I should say. So I came to realization that prayer is not an option, because after I prayed, God asked me, like, why haven't you been praying? Why haven't you been reading? Why haven't you been telling people my message how I told you to tell people my message? And I kind of felt like crappy, because I'm like, there's really no excuse. There's really no good answer for that. And the only thing that I can say is that I'm lacking on my prayer. And it's because I'm worried about other stuff, because I'm worried about what I see going on, instead of having blind faith and knowing that God is taking care of everything behind the scenes, no matter what I see or no matter how I feel towards the situation. So getting back to my prayer, I got a book called I forgot what it's called. What is that book called? Rules of Engagement. That's the book. Rules of Engagement. And it's sort of kind of like a book that guide you on how to battle with spiritual warfare. So it gives you scriptures on what to pray. It gives you prayers on what to pray when you feel like you under attack with certain spirits or certain demonic entities, I could say, or certain, you know, not fallen angels, I could say, but divine spirits that's like negative. So I plan on getting back into that book, and I plan on reading that book to handle the spirits that I'm dealing with. And I want to just say, like, if you are out there and then you have a slip and you have a fall to where it's like, oh, it's the end of it all, or you feel like you detach from God, because I feel like when I don't hear God's voice, that's like the worst moment of my life. Like when I can't hear him talk to me, when I can't dream, when I can't get the message, when I just can't figure it out and I'm just clueless, lost and confused and just like, I don't know. I know that's not his works. And I know the devil was messing with me. I know the enemy is fighting against me. So like, it happens to the best of us. It happens to the chosen ones. It happens to the ones that's like picked out of the group. It's not the ones that's in the crowd. It's the ones that's picked out. And the ones that's picked out always will have challenges and battles and they're gonna have to fight. They're gonna have to be different because it was a reason why they were selected. It wasn't like they didn't pass all the tests. It wasn't like they didn't go through trial and error. It wasn't like they didn't learn the lessons that they was taught. So at that point, they become chosen. And when you become chosen, a lot of people see it. When you become a person of God, your enemy and the people who are part of his team see you as the enemy too. So it becomes a whole spiritual like battleground type of thing. And I feel like when it comes to my relationship, we have faith. And when he met me in a space where I was like on a straight and narrow. Like I wasn't doing nothing. I committed myself to God and God only. I had a type of faith and a type of self-discipline and discernment that was like unimaginable. I still do, but to a point I feel like it's been so much going on in my life that I kind of was worried about what was going on in my life instead of worrying about praying to God, instead of worrying about praising God, instead of worrying about, I was trying to figure it out myself. And now I'm at a point where it's like, I step back and I look at the picture that I created and I can see, okay, I colored too much right here, or I can see this is too light over here, or I can see I gotta create a cloud over here, or I gotta create something over here. So like, always reevaluate yourself. Don't never think you're better than somebody, or don't never think, oh, because I'm doing it this way and they're doing it that way that I'm better, or because I know this and they don't know that, I'm smarter, or because don't never compare yourself to the next person. Not saying that's what I was doing, but in a way I thought that, you know, I was on a straight and narrow and I wasn't doing wrong things and I wasn't being the person who I used to be. So I feel like it came to a point where like I'm like, I don't have to pray because I'm already protected, or I don't have to do this because I already gave my life to God, or I was kind of being too prideful with it. I wasn't humbling myself to believe that even though I gave my life to God, and even though I am protected, even though I have spiritual knowledge, I still have to keep going and growing and doing the same thing that got me into it. Because it's like when guys, when they want a girl, they do certain stuff, then they get her, and they stop doing it, and eventually they lose the girl. Same with giving your life to God. When you give your life to God, you give your life to God and you do certain stuff so, you prove yourself, but then you got to keep doing that stuff. You can't stop. Like, you got to keep that up. Like, you can't stop. Like, if you stop doing that stuff, then you might as well just go back to the life that you was living. You might as well not be the person that gave yourself to God. Don't be prideful in your walk with God. Be humble in your walk with God and keep praying. Don't make the same mistake that I made by thinking, oh, because I'm guided, because I'm highly protected, because, he's watching over me, he has angels watching over me and protecting me, that I don't have to. Because that's exactly how I was. And this week, I had to realize that you can have expensive faith, but don't let it get cheap. Let it keep growing. Let it keep going. Don't let it depreciate in value. Don't let it become zero. Don't let it become a decreasing term. Like, let it increase to the maximum, or let it overflow, because it doesn't feel good when you feel like you lost your faith, or it doesn't feel good when you feel like you lost your connection with God. And it doesn't feel good to think or to feel like your prayers are not being answered. So I will always say, like, humble yourself. Don't be prideful. Always pray. And when you do give your life to God, or when you do decide to, like, make that transition and that God-having journey, don't slack. Like, it's no time to slack. And God will always be there to protect you and to warn you before it happens. Before destruction hit, it's going to be a signal. It's going to be a sign. It's going to be a warning. And if you don't take that signal, sign, and warning, and you're just ignorant to that red flag, then destruction will hit you, and it will come in a way that you didn't even, expect it to come. How do you feel about prayer?
Prayer is needed. It's mandatory. This week I went through a realization that I've been worrying about being physically rich to the point where I became spiritually poor.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been so close and so tuned in with God to the point that the further I get away, the more uncomfortable I feel, the more unsafe I feel. Like, I don't feel the protection, because I'm worshiping everything else but what I'm supposed to be worshiping. Because it's been times where I had nothing and I still had everything because I was praying. And I may have been the only person to know that physically I got nothing, because everything around me showed that I got everything. Things have been handed to me. I've been spiritually rich to the point where I lived like a kid. I didn't have to go and get nothing. It was just given to me. Opportunities, physical things, whatever, it was given to me. And all I had to do was worry about worshiping and praying, reading, staying close to God, and doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And him, basically, I could never tell nobody what my next step would be, because I didn't know, until it came to me. And sometimes to people it'd be crazy, because it's like, well, how don't you know what you're about to do?
Mm-hmm.
So to the physical
it's like,
world,
I don't know, I'm just going.
Yeah, but to the physical world, it's like you're a man without a plan.
I seen a TikTok like that. It was like a comic TikTok, and it was like, when God tell you to do something and you just do it. but it was the audio in the background. It was like, where you going? He's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
How long it's gonna get there? I don't know.
Yeah.
He's like, well, you don't need this? Nope, I'm just going.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's kind of a cool little TikTok, a little analogy to like how like when God tells you to do something, you really just do it. You don't know
You
what
don't know what's what.
what's going on. You just get it done.
You know, but I'm a man that like pride myself on like protecting, providing. You know, like for you not to worry about nothing. So me chasing that, stressing about that, worrying about that, I lost my sight of what really will protect and provide for you more than I could, you know?
Yeah.
Or what will guide me and protect me in that. So, you know, could you stop stopping the joint for me? Like that?
Oh, I'm sorry.
So, you know, like I said, I've been chasing being physically rich to the point where I was spiritually poor. And it made me insecure. It made me untrustworthy, so I couldn't trust nobody
Hmm.
because I know where I've been. And you know when you're supposed to be doing something but you don't do it, so now you feel like, okay, I'm playing games, so I feel like everybody around me playing games.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a guilty conscience.
Yeah. It's a deflecting type of
Yeah,
situation.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it was time. It was certain things that helped me throughout this week that made me think like I'm not providing the right way because I'm not praying. I'm not protecting the right way because I'm not praying. And I'm putting too much into myself and not enough into God, because that's where we go wrong. We think that we do something and we just allowing it to come through us. God is the one that make it happen. We see it through. You still doing it.
Stop. Just stop it.
You can't help it.
Just stay still a little bit.
So, you know, I've been going through that's my attack, is that like how we were saying, how everybody feel like you gotta work hard, you gotta go hard. So I've been working hard and going hard to the point where
Right. That's
I
another
haven't
thing.
found the time to pray.
Yeah.
And everything is really supposed to be around prayer.
Mhm.
Our lifestyles, everything is supposed to be scheduled around the times. Like when it's time to pray, everything's supposed to come to a stop. Nothing else is supposed to matter, and then life could continue.
Yeah.
Because if you really keep it 100, there's nothing that we really do in a day that we can't take 5 minutes out of the day,
So
out of the
pray.
moment. And even if we stopped this podcast and took 5 minutes to pray and then started it up again, you know, like it's nothing that, because God is the reason why we got the podcast.
Mhm.
He the reason why we got the breath or the energy or the mind or whatever it is that we using. Whatever it is that we doing, God is the reason why it's there.
Yeah.
So I'm chasing the worldly things, you know, like I'm chasing things that really don't matter, because we could have everything physically and be spiritually poor and be somewhere miserable.
Yeah. I seen the status, and basically the woman was bragging about how it's a flex to survive in this economy as a single parent. And I'm not saying that it's not a flex, but why is it so like you get a golden star if you work the hardest? And naturally, social, like structurally, like the hardest working people get paid the less. They get the least rewards. So like people praise hard work, and it's like people who don't work hard, or people who are successful, most of the most successful people, they don't tell you that they didn't work hard. They made a decision, or they decided to do something and to change their life, and it changed their life. And they didn't have to struggle, or they didn't have to work hard anymore.
They may not have gave up, but Warren Buffett said that the the game changers, the richest people in the world get paid to think.
Yeah, that's not hard.
That's not hard. You just
That's
gotta
not
use
how.
your
That's
mind.
not hard work. Like going back to like biblical terms, right? And Prophet Muhammad and Jesus and Noah and like just going back to the prophets, right? They was rich in spirit, like you said, to the point where people gave them their wealth.
Yeah.
So it's not like I gotta gain my wealth to a certain degree so people can like me, or so people can acknowledge me, or people can want to be my friend, or I can be liked in society. It should be like I should gain my knowledge to the point where people want to pay me to speak, or people want to pay me for what I know, or people want to, they want me to speak. They want me.
get paid for
It's
your
gonna
mind.
it's gonna change the world. During them times, Jesus didn't really have to want for nothing if he didn't want to. Like, it was somebody out there that was so, guided by him that they was willing to okay, you can sleep here, you and your people. Same with Prophet Muhammad. Like, he was able to travel when they came to kill him. Them people, he was already out of there. He had a whole village working for him.
He was protected, he was guided. But see, that's just what they gave us to keep us away from actually believing in God and understanding that it will be given to you, that you could pray for it. Because the same thing of me chasing so much that I move close, I move further away from God, is people that's working so hard that they don't believe in God enough because they feel like they the ones that made it happen. And I'm a firm believer that the things that I made happen just through prayer, that if you gotta work hard, that's because you doing something that you not supposed to be doing. And it don't mean that you're doing something bad.
You have to be a servant at that
Yeah,
point.
you're not in the purpose of what God put you here for. Because if you was in the what God put you here for, it would be easy. He will open up doors. So yeah, you may have forced it, you may have muscled your way, and you may have, but a lot of them people don't even be happy.
Yeah.
You hear stories about how people wasted their life, or because the most things that really mattered to them in life, they gave less time to.
Yeah, I used to be that type of person that just was like, no, you have to work hard in order to earn a life. You got to work hard. But when I realized that all the people that I'm learning from, or the books that I'm reading, and the things that they teaching me, it's not hard work. Literally, it's all about using your brain. It's all about using your mind. It's all about believing in God. I haven't read a book about success that did not implement God until within their success. I haven't read a financial book, a self-help book, a life advisory book, a plant, whatever, a medical book. I haven't read a book that has not implemented God in some way, shape, or form.
I do believe in stay down till you come up, because you do have to have patience. It's not like you just step in. Some people can step into what their true purpose is and just excel, but sometimes you gotta step in and you do have to put some work in. You gotta stay down and have patience for God to put
Yeah, I
whatever
think you
else
grow
works.
as
Yeah.
time go. I don't think it's just like you about to be a millionaire right now, hand it on your lap.
Yeah.
I feel like there's steps to get to that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
I don't.
This story, right? And in the story was this dude, and he was taking a survey, and they was asking him what was more the most important thing to him. No, first they asked him what did he spend most of his time doing. So he had to do one. It was 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 1 was what he put most of his time in. 4 was what he put less of his time in with. But it came out that his kids was what meant the most to him. So at the end, the guy asked him, well, if your kids mean the most to you, most to you, why do you give them the least of your time? And the dude said from that point forward, he quit his job and got a new job that gave him more time to spend with his kids because you know, like we'll spend time chasing, going to work or whatever your business is, however you get money, we'll spend that time chasing. But the most important thing in my life is you, and I only may give you 30 minutes before I go to sleep. You feel what I'm saying though? So I done cheated myself out of years with you over the time of taking care of you. You miserable and not happy because you say it's more than the money.
Right.
You know, and that type of relationship is the same relationship with God. You gotta have that same relation. The relationship that I will have with you should be no different than the relationship I have with God because it's the same feeling, it's the same time, it's the same dedication, it's the same conversation. How we converse, like the only way that you could talk to God is to pray.
I didn't really.
If you never prayed, you never talk to God. So it may take 5 minutes to pray. If I only called your phone for 5 minutes out the day, we couldn't be considered to have a relationship. And sooner or later, you will go and start dealing with somebody else that had more time for you because you like, I only talk to you for 5 minutes out the day. And it's not even about the 5 minutes, it's about I give everything else more than 5 minutes out of my day. I got more time for everything else out of my day, so why do you only get 5 minutes? So why would God feel any different? And sometimes you may not even talk to him 5 minutes a day. Some people may only talk to him 5 minutes out the year. And that's when they only really, really need something.
Yeah.
Or 5 minutes out of a week or whatever the case may be. Like, people don't stop throughout the day. You know, I call your phone 80 times. I ain't never prayed 80 times. So why is it that we could find the urge to give everything else but God that type of energy?
When he's our main creator, and then it comes to a point where, like I said, I got the message today, like, why aren't you praying? Why aren't you reading? Why aren't you telling my word? Because I used to have a Snapchat, and I literally used to open the Bible and read chapters out the Bible on my Snapchat. And then it got to the point where it was so many people watching my Snapchat and so many people wanting to learn the Bible. I got a comic book Bible. And at first I didn't want to get a comic book Bible because, you know, when you start, like, it's a level of blaspheme. It gets to a point of, like, blaspheme, like changing the word and
making a mockery out of it.
You know, like changing the word, and, you know, you're not supposed to, you know, put your own twist to it. And we just learned about the modification between the manipulation type of thing. So I was kind of skeptical about getting the comic book Bible, but I prayed on it. And it was a way to teach people his way. So when he was like, why aren't you doing that anymore? You used to be so good, like, at serving me. You used to be so good at serving me. You used to be so good at praising me. You get up, you got positive energy. You don't let nothing get you mad. You don't, you know? So, like, what happened? What changed? What, you know, went on? And I didn't have an answer because there's literally no excuse. I can't say, oh, I don't have time to pray, or I'm too tired, or I'm this, I'm that, because it was times where I was getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning, no matter what, to pray. Or I would pray.
What just went to sleep.
You know, my eyes would be bloodshot red, and I got tears in my eyes opening up that Bible praying, or opening up that Bible reading the scripture, getting a message, getting a word, or, you know, just opening up Snapchat and telling people the message that I got, a dream that I had, the verse of the day or the chapter of the day, and it'll reach people. It reached people. It touched people to the point where, you know, I had this guy. He was deaf, but he had some type of way to, like, text and stuff. Like, he knew and whatever. He can read. He wasn't blind. So he ended up telling me, like, through Snapchat, like, I never read the Bible before, but, like, I get it now. Like you teaching it, you not teaching it because I'm not a pastor, I'm not an evangelist, I'm not a person of the church or in the church, I'm not a preacher,
That
I'm
don't
not
mean
a
that you
first
can't. That don't
later,
mean that you
I'm
can't
not.
teach what you know.
You know, I'm not none of that, but that's the only thing I can do is teach what I know.
God
So
didn't
like,
give us what He gave us for us not to be able to teach it. And
yeah, like it's only something that I'm learning that I want other people to learn. So I was doing that and I was doing it really good, and then like he asked me this morning, why did you stop? What happened? What's going on? Like what is the reason? And I didn't have an excuse because there is no excuse. And that's where accountability comes in at, and it's like I have to take accountability that for my actions that I'm not perfect. I'm not without sin. I'm not just, straight and narrow. I am worried about other things that I shouldn't be worried about. I am not praying the way I should be praying. I am not having faith the way I should be having. And I am under a spiritual warfare attack. So, like, prayer should be implemented more. Prayer should be implemented more than what I used to do. Than what is like,
I don't know what's over there, but if it come over here, I'ma act a fool. I don't care if we on
What?
podcast or not. It's something.
what?
It's something over there, and
What?
I'm just gonna chill right now.
You want me to
But-
sit over there?
Nah, you ain't gotta sit over there because I'm gonna be over there the minute. You hear it? I don't know, but keep going.
Are you okay?
No, I'm not okay, but I'll be. Yo,
Mansuru,
I'm okay.
you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. I don't play with nature's animals. Like,
Oh my gosh. But no, I think you have just, me personally, I had to reevaluate myself. And I would say for anybody out there that think like, oh, I'm not perfect, or I know it's moms, I'm not a mother, but I know a lot of moms struggle with saying, oh, I'm not the perfect mom, my kids hate me, or they're in a relationship to where their husband and resents them or their kids resents them, and they feel like, oh, I used to be so good at this and now I'm not. Take a second to reevaluate yourself, no matter what it is, how it is, where it's coming from. Take a second to step back, reevaluate yourself, and see where you went wrong, and see how you put yourself in a situation, and see your way out of it. Because destruction is definitely the playground for demons. That's what they collect bodies to put them in world of destruction. You don't want to go to destruction world.
you know,
There's nothing over there that's
it's
coming
some-
out at
I
you.
don't know. But yo, it's just so much that's going on in this world. And living by faith, living for God, it could be like lonely. It could be considered boring because it looks like everybody else is having fun. You go through like a seclusion because the people that you once surrounded yourself with don't understand you no more. They get to saying that you think that you're better than them, or that you think that you know it all, or like you even get mocked for wanting to change, like people mock you for wanting to do better. Oh, now all of a sudden niggas want to do this or they want to do that, and it's like, well, I'm supposed to stay down forever,
Stay the same forever.
to put a smile on your face. So like you go through so many changes, you lose people, you start to see people for who they really is and who they wasn't, and that's like the hardest part of faith because you feel like an outcast.
I think that's where you gotta embrace being different.
Yeah, but
You gotta embrace.
It take the fault coming.
You gotta
in.
embrace being different, but you gotta have a certain level of mental space and a certain level of self-discipline, because you can't be weak-minded or easily peer pressured, or to the point where it's like, oh, just take, speak from experience, right? I got baptized as a Christian, and then I switched from Christianity to Islam, right? And people were mocking me for that. Oh, how this, and they don't believe in this, and whatever. If I was weak-minded, I would have been like, oh, they're right, and this, and that, and that. But the things that they were saying, I knew that my mind was way stronger than their mind. And not only that, the level of knowledge that they have is beneath me. Not saying they're stupid, not saying they're dumb, retarded, or anything, but they don't put in enough time to learn about what's going on, or they don't put in enough time to, get divine energy or divine messages from them. So like, I knew I couldn't let their opinion affect what I was doing, because if I did, I would be just as weak-minded as them.
That's what I was about to say, like, falling in and out of faith. Because it's people that fall off and then stay off because they feel like a hypocrite, or they feel like they less than, or like, like they playing. And everybody had a time when they was playing. Everybody had a time when they was ignorant. But falling in and out of faith, and I'm not gonna say in and out of faith, but times where your faith is high and times where your faith is low, is what gave me that understanding of what my life is like when I'm praying and I'm fully worshiping, and God got control over my life, and what's going on when I'm not praying and I'm worrying about the wrong thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like that contrast is the experience that give you wisdom of having strong faith.
Yeah.
Knowing what it feel like to fall off.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing the blessings and the strength that you get from getting back on stronger than ever.
And I say that's how like going in and out, that's where we tested at the most. That's where our enemy come attack the most, on our way from our faith, not when it gets low, but on our way. Just like when we learned about the modification and manipulation thing, but they were also speaking about something about when the devil come attack you. He's not attacking you for that moment. He's attacking you for the moment to come. So if you're on a way to something good, or you're on your way to being on a good journey, to doing a good thing, to going on the straight and narrow, to giving your life to God, and the devil know you can accomplish that. He know you can get there. He know that you can give your life to God. That's when he's going to attack you right then and there at that moment, so you won't make it to your destination. So it's not like he attacking you for that moment. He attacking you for the moment that's yet to come. And you thinking like, why is this happening to me? Everything was just going so good. That's the reason why. And not only is it happening because you on your way to doing something straight and good, but because you were part of that team. You were part of God's team. Because if you wasn't a part of God's team, you wouldn't be getting attacked. Yeah. You wouldn't be messed with. You wouldn't have an enemy. But in them type of terms, it's like, you got to step back. You got to reevaluate yourself. You got to put on the armor of God. You got to say, okay, I'm going into this fight knowing that I got God's protection. I'm going to this fight knowing that I might be weak on one side, but I'm strong enough to still fight with the word of God.
Lack of faith, lack of prayer, and not going through them type of situations, understanding them type of situations is the reason why relationships is so weak these days. Because it's like, soon as people start to go through anything that they feel like they don't deserve or that don't feel good, they running.
Yeah.
But it's literally nothing, no relationship, not even a relationship with God, that you're not going to be tested to see if you really want to be in it or not.
That's true.
If you're really faithful to it or not.
And I deal with that, that's why I said, and I deal with that spirit previously this week of like just getting up and wanting to go and say and forget everything. But I have to remember within this relationship, because this relationship was
when you had that?
When I got up and left and packed all my stuff.
Oh.
What do you mean? I said a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, okay. I thought you said this week.
No, I
was
said a
about to
couple
say
of
that
weeks
was
ago.
Some more, you had some more sneaky shit.
I said a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, yeah, I was dealing with a demon or a demand. That's what I call them because they always demand something from you right then and there at that very given moment. And it was like, get up and go, get up and leave, pack all your shit and get up and like, just fucking go. But this relationship that I have, is divinely protected. And when everybody asks me like, oh, how did you meet him? How did you meet him? I always tell them I met him through a dream because that's exactly where I met him at. Before I met him in the physical, I met him in a dream. Just to summarize it, I had a prayer. After I got baptized, I had a prayer and I kind of asked God what I want in a man and set it in my head what he would have to say in order for me to know that he's the one for me. And he said after I had the prayer, I had a dream, and then 2 days later, he came to me saying those words. So, like, I have to always remember that not to run from what God has given me, because God can give you something that you pray for, and you run away from it. Or God can give you something that was desired to you, and you will mess it up by your humanly ways or by the demands that you are getting from other energies. So know when you got something, a gift from God. Know when you got something with value. Know when you got something that's God's assignment. Because you don't want to fail God's assignment. Once he give you an assignment, you want to pass. And you want to pass 100%. You don't want no slacks. Nothing's perfect, but 95 could be a perfect score, 98, but in my book with God, 100%, nothing less, because he's not going to give you nothing less than what you ask for. He's going to give you 100% what you ask for, plus more, if needed. So when God give you an assignment, make sure you pass it. Don't skip over no questions. Don't try to do it your way. Like, do it exactly the way
Ain't no cheating God.
that is given to you.
He's a seer of all.
So
he created all. He knows what you're gonna do before you do it. So it's not like you could go in the closet and cheat God and God don't know what's going on.
yeah, so I gotta remind myself all the time of all the things that God has given me, all the things that he has granted me, all the things that he's allowed me to handle, so I won't mishandle them. I don't want to be the person that, God gives me everything that I ever prayed for and I mess it up. Or God gives me everything that I ever prayed for, and because I have a feeling of whatever the demand is or whatever the demon is, that I'm going to mess it up. I want to be able to fight my demands off. I want to be able to have faith. I want to be able to put the armor of God on and go to war with the word of God and know that I'm going to win. I don't want to feel how I just feel previously, and I knew that it was something that wasn't in me, of me, because it was telling me to pray alone. And that right there is a red flag. Like, all the scriptures tell you 2 is better than 1. All the, 2 is better than 1. Where 2 are joined, yeah, I know the rest, but 2 is always better than 1. And something was telling me to pray alone.
Especially when I'm around. Let me pop it real quick. Dang. Like, why can't I feel myself?
I didn't say that.
You looked at me.
I can't look at you now?
Not like that. Like.
You gonna swing us?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's so cute. It's cute.
Oh. Please. Please. But no, and then the hard work situation, I used to be hard working. I used to think like, yo, I gotta go do this, I do that. Like, what y'all got to say to me? I'm a hard.
That's why your
I'm a-
hands rough.
Shut up. I'm a hard worker,
And your feet.
and I get shit done. So like,
You got them steel toes on.
steel toes. I was just thinking like my hard working was getting me somewhere. Like my hard work was eventually gonna pay off. Like this hard work, you're working so hard. This is eventually gonna pay off for you, and things are gonna happen, and da da da. And my hard work just got me more hard work.
Yeah.
And then
you
it
just
made me.
manifested just slaving forever.
Yeah, and then it just made me like, it made me masculine, and it made me like cut off the world in a way like, oh no, I'm just gonna do everything myself because I work hard and I work harder and I do this for myself. And I didn't realize why I was praising that so much. Like I
Still
was
sometimes do.
I was bragging about that shit. Like I work hard.
I'm a slave.
I work hard. I work hard. And I didn't realize how I sounded to, you know, I wouldn't say the higher ups, but I would say to the people who was like stress free, worry free. Like they was looking at me like, girl, you take pride in that?
And that's probably why.
We take pride in waking up and not doing nothing.
And that's probably why people like that come around in our communities and stuff, like don't fully believe in God the way that they should, because you know, like your grandmother or somebody was telling you to work hard, and don't nobody want to work hard. Working hard don't attract to nobody. Like
Don't
everybody
nobody
look
want to
for is
work
easy.
hard.
But then they telling you to believe in God, and you over here busting 80 hours. Your check still like you still struggling, and it's like we using God the wrong way because we work so hard that it become like a fear and a worry. We not working hard because that's what we want to do. We working hard because we feel like that's what we gotta do. So if I don't work hard, I can't take care of my family. My family won't eat. My girl won't have this. I won't have this. So now you put some fear and worry is not of God. That's of the devil. So we really working hard and doing doubles because the devil got a hold of us, because we don't believe that we could just sit back and
Relax.
swing on the swing.
And just relax. Like we don't like who would have ever thought though?
Like we just swinging on the swing.
Nah, but who would have ever thought it was just that easy? You know? Because you are taught, it is implemented that you have to work hard. Not saying that you don't have to put in no type of work, because everybody know faith without work is nothing. It's
But the
dead.
work is
It's
the
zero.
practice that the
It
Bible and the
actually
Quran
said
tells
faith
you.
without it say faith without work is actually practice, right?
Yeah,
But
in Islam we call it practice. So it's like, okay, you got Muslims that pray, you got Muslims that don't pray. You know, they don't dhikr, they don't read the Quran. So we'll ask, is he practicing? You know?
oh, I
Is he
see.
practicing? That's how
Is he
how we
practicing
talking.
Islam?
Yeah, is he practicing Islam? Because you could be Islam by, you took your shahada, but are you practicing? Are you on your deen? Are you worshiping? Like, you know, like.
No, I'm saying if he had faith, right? If he had faith and he wasn't reading the Quran, and he wasn't dhikring, or he wasn't praying 5 times a day, or if he wasn't doing none of that.
That's faith without works.
But faith without work is nothing.
Okay, so but you know, like people think about faith without work is like actually going out here and doing the work. You feel what I'm saying? No, that we think about work as in actual work. But faith without works is literally that. You have faith, but you're not praying, you're not reading the Quran,
Yeah, it's
you're
nothing.
not dhikring, you're not meditating.
It's better off for you not to have faith, because you're not really doing nothing.
None of the supplications, like you're not like, you know, Jesus taught y'all how to praise and worship God. Prophet Muhammad taught you how to praise and worship God. Moses, you know,
All of them.
Abraham, all of them taught you how to. So that is you didn't see them you ain't see Jesus have to go and go to work for 8 hours out the day.
He was a carpenter, they say.
You said what?
They say he was a carpenter.
Yeah, but not the carpenter that we think
No,
about.
I know.
You feel what I'm saying?
I know.
You know, because I done lived it, man. You know, like the only difference is I done lived it when I was in prison, but like I lived like a child. If I didn't have no money, I needed some money. I didn't have to call for no money. It would just come on my books. If somebody, oh, I thought about you. I just got a bonus, so I just like things used to come to my door. When I didn't have no food in my locker, I still ate every day. I may not have had my own, but I still had. Somebody was still bringing me a bowl. Like I was, you know, like,
Oh, prayer.
you know, because that was, I was putting in the work. I didn't have to go and get no job. I didn't have to be a porter. I didn't have to go and beg. I didn't.
We
yeah,
should pray.
Hmm?
We should pray. We ain't got no map, but we got the dirt.
Yeah, but this not that's dirt dirty. Like, that's a whole different bird doodle and everything out
Yeah,
there.
that's dirt dirty.
But you know, like, so I lived of not having nothing and having everything. I came home to nothing. I haven't been home a year, but way before a year, I had everything that I needed. May not have everything in the world.
May not have a lot. This is what my mom always say. She said, I may not have a lot, but I'm happy with what I got.
Yeah.
And it's mine.
Yeah. And then, you know, at
And
times,
it's mine.
at times where I may have felt, you know, because we think that we always got to do something, so I feel like I don't got much and I ain't got nothing. And gotta get me around people.
But that's the thing.
To
When you
see
feel
that
like
I-
you don't, when you feel like you don't got nothing, when you feel like the world is against you, when you feel like it's just you by yourself, you have the most powerful thing within you, and that's prayer. And the connection with, like, the connection to God. Like, I feel like when
then
I,
He sent me you.
aww,
And then it ain't easy though, because you be putting me through it. Yeah, all that. Nah, you be putting me. You be putting me through it, but you know, at least we at war together.
yeah, I do kind of put you through
When
there.
you not at war with
I
me.
do kind of put you through there, but I be getting,
Kinda.
I be getting put through there myself though, too.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like I always gotta pray. Within this relationship, I normally go to talk to other people when we have problems, or if I normally have problems with my significant other previously in my past, I will always call my homegirl or call my mom or call somebody to talk about it.
Ain't
And
no previous.
and
This
just
your
like
only
da, da, da.
situation. You ain't even like.
so
what you talking
with
about?
this relationship,
You was a virgin. You ain't never been in a relationship.
anytime we argue
like,
or
all of that.
anytime we get into something, I just
You
strictly go to prayer and I pray. I might call somebody after the fact, but
No, this
I'm not
chemical
gonna really.
imbalance, I got need a prayer.
I really don't. I really don't vent to other people about it. I kind of like go to God first, and then I might say something to like one of my friends or something. But for the most part, I'm praying
Nayla.
about it now.
Nayla.
Yeah, Nayla. I talk to Nayla about everything. So before I talk to Nayla, I pray though, and then I talk to Nayla like, girl, let me tell you. So, yeah, I think within this relationship, it's always good to pray for what y'all got going on because y'all in this together. Like this week has been a lot, and I know it wasn't last week. This was a couple of weeks ago. I was laying in the bed and I was like suffering from sleep paralysis. A witch was writing me, a demon was writing me, however you want to say it. It was on me, and it's different. It was different this time because normally when you in that state, you can't move, you can't talk, you can't even breathe.
Yeah, I know. I told you I woke up and
And
like, I told you.
we know that was just you
That
snoring.
wasn't from snoring.
That was
That
just
wasn't- I
you
was
snoring.
under attack. I
No.
couldn't breathe. It was choking me.
You were snoring.
You know, and
Because when you do that, you can't breathe. You can't move with these things that are on you. Anyways, long story short, it was different for me because I could breathe and my eyes was open, but I couldn't move and I couldn't talk. And you know, I knew what was happening. I knew what was going on. So, like, I decided to get up out the bed and sleep on the couch for the rest of the night because I believe those things can jump. And I didn't want whatever it was to jump to my spouse because you are one. When you become with your person, when you get with your person, they always say in the Bible or biblically or historically in the biblical terms, once you find a wife or once you find a husband, you become one. And y'all don't live for each other, y'all live for God. So every test that y'all have is a test coming from God. Every downfall y'all have, every uplift y'all have, everything is revolved around God because two people don't come into unity unless otherwise. I mean, there is other reasons that people come into unity because there's a lot of demonic relationships out here that where it's like evil believe evil when they love evil together. But
I done had times where, you know, like times were rough, and like it's shaky, and I don't know, and like even God stop a conversation with somebody else. I truly believe I can't. It's not even worth me even hollering at a female because it's like it ain't even gonna get nowhere. For real. And then, for real.
Honestly, I feel like if you was to step out, or if I was to step out for that matter, something would happen in that situation that'll probably be like, see, this is why I'm not supposed to be doing this.
Oh yeah, mink, mink, mink. Mink, mink, mink.
I think it'd be. I feel like you know how like, far as like,
you gonna catch your karma.
Like far as the street shit go, right? Like we know we're not supposed to be in the streets, so if we get in the streets and end up getting arrested or some shit, or end up getting pulled over or some shit, it's gonna be like, look, he wasn't even supposed to be doing this shit in the first place. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like if it was the way we in sync and the way we like spiritually connected, I feel like if it was for us to step out, God will punish us just for that. Like just for like going against his assignment. And we knew we had an assignment. When I first met this man, I told him what our assignment was because I gotta
No, it used to be like, we're not supposed to be together. We just have a spiritual connection. I used to be like, that's more than a relationship.
No, I did because God told me about him. I told you I had a dream about him before I met him, but God literally told me my plans and showed me my plans with him.
Sending one of my shooters.
So with that being said, I can't mess that plan up, going back to not messing up God's assignment because it is our assignment to give y'all whatever message he gives us, whether y'all like it or not. We're going to do what he tells us to do. We're going to do what we're guided to do. We're going to do this as much as we can do this until it is reached to everybody that it needs to be reached to.
Till I die.
Or you're going to have to pick that up. This is a nice rose garden. This is a garden, actually, so don't get it twisted. Don't think you just at a park. This is a garden, okay? So, yeah. But like I was saying, we're going to teach you guys or give you guys the message because we're not teachers.
No,
we're just
this boot camp.
We're not teachers, we're not pastors, we're not
we just giving
spiritual
the message. We the messenger.
Leaders. We're just messengers. So if whether y'all like it or not, we're gonna keep this up. We're gonna keep doing this. I'm gonna start posting like little messages that I be getting because I be getting messages 3 o'clock in the morning, 12 o'clock in the evening. It don't matter, but I need to start putting them out there because I just write them down and I don't say nothing to nobody. And I actually got a little whip for that this morning from the Most High. So I got to start speaking up more. I got to start telling y'all what I know. I got to start praying more. I got to start fighting against my demands or demons, as I should say. I want anybody to know, I want everybody to know, if you are the person out there that had a slip, that fell back into something, that doubled back and went to the past thinking that it was going to be okay and it turned out not to be, you still have time to repent for what you did and give your life back to God. You still have time to restore what you lost.
It's never too late unless you're dead. If you're dead, you dead.
Okay.
But as long as you ain't dead, it ain't never too late.
Okay, we're
So if you got
gonna
breath in your body, you better get it right.
I'm gonna let Mansuru pray for us with our clothes.
No, you pray.
I just said I'm gonna let Mansuru pray for us.
Yeah, but God told you.
To tell you.
He told you to pray.
Huh?
You don't have no choice. He told you to pray.
No,
He told you to.
Guess what? God gonna get you because you're not supposed to deny prayer anyway. Let us
I'm not
close our
denying prayer.
eyes.
I'm holding you
Close your
accountable.
eyes. Here, hold my hand.
Okay, go ahead.
Heavenly Father, I pray for myself. I pray for the person on the other side watching this. I pray that you reach the hearts of those who feel depressed, those who feel like they have failed. I pray that you reach those who have made a slip or was on a straight and narrow and then they tripped. I pray that you give them the heart to know that they have strength to get back to where they need to be. I pray that you touch everyone out there that's looking for you and looking for your word and looking for the truth. I pray that you bless this podcast and keep people watching us and keep messages flowing to us so we can not teach, I keep using that word, so we can give people the message, so we can be the best messengers there are out there for your word. And I hope everybody have a blessed week. We will be back next Friday. God's spirit, nothing happens. Amen.
Oh shit, we still recording.